Summer's here, and Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From beach days and weddings to weekend getaways and your everyday wardrobe. Discover stylish options under $100 from tons of your favorite brands like Mango, Skims, Princess Polly, and Madewell. It's easy too with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Shop today in stores, online at Nordstrom.com, or download the Nordstrom app.
With a Venmo debit card, you can Venmo more than just your friends. You can use your balance in so many ways. You can Venmo everything. Need gas? You can Venmo this. How about snacks? You can Venmo that. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit Venmo.me/debit to learn more.
You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo.
The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. The Air Force Research Laboratory is partnering with Google Cloud using AI to accelerate defense research for air, space, and cyberspace forces. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
Live, Laugh, Larceny discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or could be easy listening to all you psychopaths out there.
All stories are based on actual events, but details may vary.
Listener discretion is not advised.
Live,
Laugh,
Larceny. Welcome to Live, Laugh, Larceny, the crushing defeat of another work week. This is Trevin.
And I'm Amanda. I can relate now that I'm back in the workforce. Trevin.
How does it feel now when you hear people complain about working and stuff?
I'm like, I am also one of you now again.
Wow, yeah.
So, Trevin.
Yes.
What is your dreadful dilemma this week?
My dreadful dilemma happened today.
Okay.
It's almost a sequel to an old dilemma. So do you remember sometime last year I had it was the most delicious looking salad and I accidentally left it at work for a long weekend and came back and it was just an old nasty salad?
Yes.
Well, I never figured out who they ordered that salad from.
Oh.
Because it sounded so good because it had jalapenos and tortilla pieces. It was like a spicy Southwestern salad with chipotle ranch.
It's all coming back to me.
It's weird. That song's come back to me multiple times in the last couple days. So today I was up doing something last night and I made a deal with myself. I was like, instead of cooking my lunch, I will just order something. We ordered from this thing called Foodsby. It's basically the company picks 4 places that you can basically DoorDash from, and the DoorDasher will make one delivery to your building. So it gives your office the ability to order from 4 DoorDashers who will be in your building.
Okay.
Usually I just get Thai food, but I looked at this one that was one I had never seen before. It was like a tavern and sports bar. I just looked at the salads and I saw it was the exact salad. And I said, I got to get this. It was called the Midwest salad.
Oh my God.
And it was your choice with either grilled chicken, fried chicken, or what they had, Casey hot bird chicken.
Oh, so what did you do?
I was feeling really fancy and I had to see what this hot bird was all about.
Right.
So I got the salad. It was beautiful. Big salad. The hot bird chicken was fried, but with a dark red sauce on it.
Okay.
It was a really good salad. I really enjoyed it. But something that's been happening to me as I've gotten older is when I eat things that are a little too spicy, my head just sweats like crazy.
Oh, God.
My mouth wasn't even having a hard time keeping up with the heat of anything. But I would just touch the back of my head because I have a side shave. And I would just touch the back of my head and it would be completely soaked.
Oh no, not the head sweats at work.
And at certain points, I could feel a stream like running down.
God, no. If I was still your coworker, like in the office, and I saw you, I'd be like, what are you guilty of? Literally, if I saw you, I'd be like, you okay?
Who farted? And I'm just like sitting here sweating and like... My boss had walked by at one point and we kind of locked eyes for a second, but she wasn't coming to talk to me. And I thought, oh my God, was my sweat stream visible? Like, did she notice it? Are people looking at me thinking like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
They probably were.
I could have said I'm sick. Like, oh, I've got a fever. I gotta go home.
to go so I can finish this salad at home.
Yeah, the rest of it is here, so I can finish it at home. I ate less than half of it because it was just too spicy. And I think it was because of that damn hot bird.
Yeah.
If I would have went with just ranch, I think I could have still handled it. But the jalapenos in it were kicking.
Oof.
Still, 10 out of 10 salad. No complaints.
Well, I'm glad you found it. I'm glad you were reunited with that salad. I mean, it sounds amazing, but you know I can't do jalapenos that much. We all know this, okay?
Yeah, I actually thought about you when I was burning up in the bathroom.
Hard.
I mean, like I was
feel the
taking paper
love.
towels to my head. That wasn't a poop reference.
Honestly, I'd be honored either way. So it's really funny that this is your dreadful dilemma because my dilemma this week is that I also ordered some food, Trevin.
Okay, double food dilemma.
Food dilemma coming in hot. So have you ever eaten at Zaxby's?
Oh, yeah. I like them because you can do the strip sauced.
Yes.
Because I love a wet wing, a wet chicken.
Stop it right now. Stop that madness, Trevin. No, we love Zaxby's. We get a whole freaking family pack of chicken tendies and fries. And then I discovered something amazing.
Uh-oh.
You can actually order a Zaxby's sauce sampler, and it's a little box, and it had all 12 of their sauces.
Shit, there's 12?
Bro, when I tell you, I was so freaking excited. I'm a saucy queen.
Me too.
I love a good dip. I love a good dressing. I love a good topping. I love. I want to try it all. It wasn't that expensive. I can't remember, a few bucks. And I was like, fuck yes. And so we got it. And there were so many different sauces that I loved. I really should have like ranked them, but we just don't have time for that right now. I'm literally moving to my new home tomorrow as we record this. But the dreadful part of it is that one of my favorite of the sauces was called Wimpy sauce.
Aw, Wimpy.
Wimpy? Like, how am I supposed to feel about myself for loving the shit out of the Wimpy sauce?
Yeah, you're basically like Weenie Hut Jr.
I'm just a little punk ass fool. I don't know.
Diary of a Wimpy Amanda.
I even took a picture of the empty container of Wimpy sauce. And part of me was proud. Part of me was happy because it was so damn delicious. But part of me felt a little bit of shame just because of the name.
Yeah.
How could I not?
Have you ever seen those hefty bag commercials? Yes. Hefty, hefty, hefty. Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy.
Yeah, that's me.
So I can see why that doesn't feel very good for you.
Jordan was just like giggling his
Oh, he
little
fucking
ass off.
would.
He's like, Wimpy. And I'm like, your fucking giggle's pretty wimpy. So, anywho, it's just funny that both of us were food adjacent or related or whatever.
For real. And now I'm going to have to get that sampler because
Oh
I
my
always
God.
have a hard time deciding which one to do. And then I always fall back on doing the Asian one because it's so
yeah.
good.
No, that one was good. That was one of my tops. They even have like a variety of different honey mustard, like a hot honey mustard, a regular. It was pretty great. I would recommend getting the sampler. If you're like us and a saucy queen,
Yes.
get it. So, Trevin,
Hmm.
we are going to be doing some trivia. Whoa. Trevin, we do not have the rights to say that.
Let's have a fun time.
We are, and it's your week.
To go first. Whoop, whoop. Well, this is going to spill the beans for you all, but I actually have a connection that I made between my dilemma my segment and my story, okay? And this honestly wasn't super intentional. I had that dilemma. That dilemma was on the list regardless. Like, you better preach and believe. However, then I came across this story after really a long time of searching through things, and I finally found it, and I was like, oh. And then I kind of made the segment connect it all. But this is one that I feel very intrigued by, and I think others will feel the same.
Okay.
So, you ready?
Yes.
Which discontinued fast food sauce packet was sold on eBay for $14,700? Was it A, McDonald's Szechuan sauce, B, Taco Bell's fire roasted sauce, or C, Wendy's Sauceum sauce?
I feel like it is A, the Szechuan.
Ding, 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 ding. Trevin,
I've
you
heard people
are
say good things about that
correct.
sauce.
Have you ever tried it with nuggets
I feel like I've probably had it, but I don't remember it off top, like what it
or
tastes like.
fries? Oh, it's made a few appearances. Like, I know it came out because of the movie Mulan.
Oh.
And then it came out again when they did the live action Mulan, just to like connect it. But then they brought it back, I believe, 4 times total. But I did a lot of research. I didn't know that by heart.
That's cool to know, though. I didn't even realize it was a Mulan-related thing.
And that's my favorite Disney queen.
Really?
Or Disney princess, Disney whatever. She's like an emperor's right-hand woman, you know?
Yeah, I don't even think of her as a princess.
I know, but she's my fave.
She's a hero.
I love her story. So anyway, all of these are actual discontinued sauces. I wanted to make that clear. So Taco Bell fire roasted sauce.
I did like that one a lot.
That one came out with the verde sauce, the green. I actually preferred the verde, and they still sell that in bottles at the store, and I still buy that. And Wendy did have a Sauceum sauce, like S''awesome, Sauceum. They had like a whole legal battle with that, and they had to discontinue it because they didn't have the copyright for the name or something like that.
Couldn't they just change the name?
I don't know. But the correct answer is A, McDonald's, and I know I'm butchering this, Szechuan sauce.
I think you did a great job.
Thank you. There is an article that talked about this that was really helpful from time.com. It is an article written by Lisa Marie Segarra. So I'm just going to read a tiny bit of this. A 20-year-old dipping sauce from McDonald's sold for nearly $15,000 after a mention in the show Rick and Morty. I guess it got brought up in the show, and that was like another reason why they brought it back. On to what they said about the eBay listing. This is a quote from the person who listed it on eBay, okay? I just bought a really old car. While cleaning it out, I found a packet of this sauce. The listing states. This is like what was on it.
Oh my God.
After watching the recent episode of Rick and Morty, I went online to see if it was worth anything. Turns out it was. Also, this comes with a packet of wasabi as well. Okay, so he listed
2 for
it.
1?
Yes. 2 for 1? But still, that is like an expensive ass purchase, and somebody did it. Also, in this article, it talks about how there have been several petitions. I didn't realize this was such a hot
sauce
item. Yeah, hot sauce. I didn't realize it was such a hot sauce because apparently several petitions have been added on change.org. The largest petition at this time of the article reached 35,000 signatures. So apparently people really like this Szechuan sauce.
Damn, I have no memory of it, but it'll probably come back again one day. And
yeah,
when it does, I'll be ready to try it.
Oh, Trevin, it is so good, my friend.
Oh, man. That's such a weird thing what some of these people will do. Like, I don't know if that was because they love the sauce or because they love Rick and Morty. Either one.
They have too much money.
Yeah. And they should be supporting us on Patreon. Well, this week, I have a trivia for you about everybody's favorite. It's an insect, right? Bees?
Oh, yeah. I'd say those are insects.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure it wasn't one of those things where it's like an arachnid, but they're like, oh, yeah, it's not a insect. It's a bumbleblom.
A bumblebuster. I think you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question about bees.
Okay.
Because I learned an interesting fact about them that I think everybody will like to hear about too.
Cool.
So my question for you, how does a hive typically respond when a worker bee returns drunk from collecting nectar? Is it A, they place them in a drunk tank to sober up under strict pheromone supervision? B, they're demoted to scrubbing the cells of thousands of larvae? Or C, they break their legs and kick them out?
Woo! C is C for reason, C for cutthroat.
Yeah.
I hope it is not C. I don't know why, but I have a very strong pull towards A. I'm hoping it's the drunk tank.
And you were incorrect at C.
No! They break their legs and kick them to the curb?
So coming from nowiknow.com,
Oh.
from an article called When Bees Get Buzzed.
That is a clever title.
So the article is about this guy named Cormac Farrell, who is an Australian bee guy, environmental bee person.
Sounds beautiful to me.
And some people had sent him these pictures where there's just a bunch of like piles of dead bees outside of a hive. And he says, a few sharp-eyed folk walking have noticed dead and stumbling bees on the paths around the Parliament House, which I guess is where he's at, and have asked what is going on. The answer is alcohol. As the weather heats up, the nectar in some Australian flowers will ferment, making the foragers drunk. Some literally drink themselves to death. Why didn't they just go home and sleep it off? Well, assuming they could even find their way home, the buzzed bees would have had another problem. They weren't allowed back in the hive. Bees, like most non-human animals, don't get drunk for fun, nor do they do so intentionally. Bees simply bounce around from flower to flower, drinking up nectar, which they bring back to the hive. In almost all cases, that's an alcohol-free lifestyle. The sugar content from most nectars is too high for fermentation to occur, but in the right environment, there are a handful of flowers that can produce fermented drinks for the bumbling guests. But if you're an unfortunate bee foraging among those flowers, they can lead to dire consequences.
So they're not even doing it on purpose or for fun.
No.
That makes it way worse.
Guard bees position themselves outside the hive to ensure that no invaders try to enter the bee's home. And in this case, drunk bees are treated as outsiders. The guard bees will physically push an intoxicated bee away from the hive. And if the drunkards put up a fight, the guard bees will even break the legs of the stubbornly drunk bee to prevent it from returning home. The reason isn't social, though. It's to keep the rest of the bees safe from the same fate as their fallen drunk hive mate. As entomologist Errol Hassan explained in The Guardian, quote, if the drunk bees' fermented nectar was turned into alcoholic honey, it could end up paralyzing the entire colony.
Okay, so there really are some dire circumstances, but like, come on, guys, you don't have to rough them up.
Yeah, breaking their legs and just kicking them outside.
I don't know. I guess at least they might give them a chance to go sleep it off on a leaf or something. Would they let them return then, I wonder?
Well, a lot of the articles had said, like, if you're a drunk bee, you should sober up before you go home.
Yeah, they're giving tips to all the bees that are reading.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
If you're a bee who's listening, please sober up before you go home.
You guys sober up because mama don't like it.
The article also sent videos of, like, drunk bees trying to fly. It wasn't as cute as I was hoping it was.
Oh.
But the best videos were basically them like on their side and they're like half using one wing to try to get themselves up to 2 feet or to 4. So if the pictures of what this guy was getting was a pile of bees, it must have been like a whole batch that must have gotten to some fermented flour and they were just like,
ooh, snap.
Yeah, they don't take chances.
Well, you know what else we're not going to take a chance on, Trevin?
Hopefully it's not alcohol with honey.
No, we're going to give the people some good ads.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, score free gifts for the greatest dad. Right now, get a free select DeWalt, Craftsman, or Cobalt tool with purchase of a select battery kit. Plus, get a free Werner 2-foot aluminum ladder when you buy an 8-foot fiberglass ladder. Shop these deals and more this Father's Day at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS. It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
And we are back. And it's my week to go first.
Yeah, and hopefully there were some saucy ads in there for you guys.
I see what you did there, Trevin. So, you guys, this is a story from the news. It is fairly recent, just happening last year. And it is still unsolved.
Oh, yes. This is one of those ones.
I know. Let's just put it into the wheel and hope something sticks. Why don't we?
Let's be like a murder podcast and just solve it right here.
Right here and now. Yeah, everyone. We need to come up with a tip line. We need to come up with a tip line for each of these. Like, if you have a tip for the leprechaun man that was in Boulder, Colorado, please press 2, you know, something like that.
That could be something we could look into.
Okay. Like I said, you may have noticed a theme, and it's going to be pretty apparent.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and jump right in, and here we go. There are few scenarios more disappointing than ordering fast food and opening your bag, only to realize that the restaurant employee forgot your sauce. You stare at your dry chicken tenders and wilted fries and mourn the meal it could have been. Tears begin to flood down your face and onto your crispy combo. The salty liquid is immediately absorbed by the parched protein. Thinking your tears may have seasoned the processed meat, you take a nibble. It is in this moment of desperation and despair that you come to learn a meal without dip tastes like shit. It is a common letdown that is felt by the masses. Each unfortunate victim reacts to this mistake at their own spiciness level. And let's just say that today's petty criminal preferred their meals extra saucy. Residing in Seattle, Washington in 2024 was a man nicknamed by his friends Dippin' Dan. They called him this not because Dan dipped out on plans or acted like a dipshit out in public. It was a pet name given out of adoration for dipping sauces. He never met a sauce he didn't try. Dan dipped his fish sticks in creamy tartar. He lathered his fries in barbecue. And he splattered hot sauce on almost everything. Dippin' Dan even created his own special sauce that he and his friends worshipped, calling it the Holy Aioli. He had the perfect sauce pairings for any occasion, bringing pesto to parties, making hollandaise for the holidays, and even taking his own bottle of mustard to a Kendrick Lamar concert. Dan stayed up to date on all the saucy news in town. He marinated over which restaurant had the best marinara and knew exactly who needed to catch up. However, none could compare to his favorite local fast food restaurant, Taco Time. Their burritos were crisp, their tacos had crunch, and their popular Taco Time hot sauce had it all. Inside was a blend of roasted tomatoes, peppers, onions, and spices that tickled the taste buds. The sauce had the perfect amount of smokiness and heat, causing long lines of repeat customers returning for their fix.
Whose dick do I gotta suck to get some sauce around here?
It was on a cold winter evening that Dippin' Dan found himself at the back of one of these long lines at taco time. He tapped his foot impatiently, waiting for his turn to order, as he dreamt of his favorite hot sauce. It was almost closing time for the fast food chain, adding to the tension between the exhausted employees and restless last-minute customers. Eventually, Dippin' Dan made it to the front of the line and eagerly placed his order with the tired woman working behind the counter. Welcome to Taco Time, where any time is taco time. Can I take your order?
Yes! I'll take a number 11 to go. Lots of Taco Time sauce, please.
That'll be $22.16, the woman said, without ever making eye contact.
Worth every penny!
Your order number 69, the woman stated, without any humor in her voice, causing Dan to chuckle.
My favorite number! Must be my lucky day.
Dan expected some sort of laugh from the working woman, but instead received only a blank stare. He shuffled away awkwardly from the counter and waited for his food. The restaurant was nearly empty now, as Dan appeared to be one of the evening's last customers. As he scanned the building's interior, his thoughts were interrupted by the speaker system.
Order 69! It's taco time!
Dan quickly grabbed his bag and sprinted to his vehicle to eat on the way home. Yet to Dippin' Dan's horror, there was a main ingredient missing from his meal. Yep, you've probably guessed it by now. He was missing his beloved Taco Time sauce. Dan sprinted back to the restaurant doors and yanked on the handles, only to find that they were locked. He banged on the door and pleaded with the non-visible employees.
I need sauce!
But no one ever appeared back in the lobby. Dippin' Dan felt defeated, but he wasn't ready to give up just yet. He walked over to the empty drive-thru lane and approached the small order window. Peering inside, he saw not a single soul. However, he did spot something even better. Just inside the window was a line of stacked and full bottles of Taco Time hot sauce. Dippin' Dan looked both ways before gently prying open the drive-thru window. He stretched as far as his arms would allow, but couldn't reach the bottles. Dan lifted his upper body into the window, managing to grab one of the closer sauces. Yet while lowering his arms, he knocked his elbow into the open and empty cash register. The loud bang caused Dippin' Dan to freeze, afraid to get caught with his ass hanging out of the drive-thru. But when no employees came, Dan knew he was in the clear to take more sauce. He used some close-by cup trays to gather a few more bottles, leaving him with 4 total. Dan skipped to his car and placed his stolen possessions gently in the back seat. That's when he noticed something of his that could be useful for more sauce stealing. Dan rushed back to the ajar drive-thru window and hoisted his upper body back inside. This time, though, he wasn't empty-handed. Using a walking cane, Dan guided 3 more bottles into his arms before jumping back and out of the opening. Once he was safely back inside his vehicle, Dippin' Dan looked back at the 7 bottles of hot sauce with pride.
It's not crime if it's taco time.
In early December of 2024, there was a break-in to the popular Pacific Northwest fast food chain, Taco Time, at a Seattle, Washington location. An unknown man was captured on surveillance footage, showing him lifting his upper body inside the drive-thru window and reaching for Taco Time's hot sauce bottles. In the video, the suspect accidentally bumps into the cash register, causing him to pause briefly before continuing to grab more sauce. He used multiple items, such as drink trays, and even returned with a walking cane to collect 7 bottles in total. The crime became a funny news story, with many finding humor in the fact that the man stole sauce instead of cash or other valuables. This led Taco Time to join in on the laughs, posting the footage on their Instagram with the caption reading, "When that hot sauce craving hits, the results can be criminal." While we can't endorse this thief's bad behavior, we have to admire his good taste. Bottled hot sauce is available to purchase at all our restaurants. Although this petty criminal and his motivations are still unknown, I can only assume that the sauce in question must be tasty. So the next time you receive a fast food order without the requested sauce packets, just know that you aren't alone. We all have a favorite condiment that may leave us lost in the sauce, or worse, caught in a crime.
I'm shocked about the going back with the cane part.
And guys, I have to say this too. In all the articles, which there were not many, this is obviously a minuscule little crime, but regardless, a lot of them were calling it a stick, saying that the man went and found a stick. And I'm like, that is clearly a cane with a curved metal handle on it. So I don't know why they were all calling it a stick. It's a freaking walking cane.
So you have pictures or video?
Yes, the whole entire video is online and we can share it. And it's very silly. And in the footage, you can only see the front of him. But I'm just picturing his ass hanging out of the window because you can tell he's like balancing.
Yeah, just wiggling.
Yeah, just a wiggling butt in the air. So I don't know. This one gave me quite the chuckle. Very saucy. Still on the loose. Active and wanted, I'm sure. And also, I just need to know, any of our listeners in that area, can you tell us, is this sauce worth it? Is it that good that you'd have to go back with your cane and still 7 bottles? Please let us know.
And also just let me know, are you a Taco Time fan? Because I've hardly heard of it at all. Actually, no, I'll just say I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't even think we have one anywhere near us. I really just need to know from the locals themselves, you guys. What's going on with this Taco Time sauce?
Yeah. Is it like really big in the area?
Right. Because they sell the bottles too. I know I did stumble upon a Reddit thread about the sauce.
Oh.
And they were kind of debating because apparently it was once a different recipe than it is now.
Oh, God. Controversy.
Yeah. So there is some controversy that I know online, but I don't know. I'd like to hear from a listener from that area specifically. So please let us know.
And if none of you have been there, then go get me some listeners in the P&W.
Yes.
That definitely reminded me of older stories back when we'll take a character and make their whole personality just based on the thing they do.
I know. I had to take the easy route on this one.
Yeah, that's okay. It's nostalgic.
It's nostalgic and also it's simple and it's just like, oh, this man stole sauce. And really, yes, did I consider other options? But then I was like, I'm just going to make this guy be freaking obsessed with sauce. Okay? And that's what it is. But I had fun.
Damn. And that really does connect so well to my dilemma and your dilemma with saucy stuff.
Sauciness all over this place.
Well, and I'm here to tell you that it will not be hard to find connections between your story and mine.
Yay!
We did it.
Wavelength.
Yeah, I'm surprised because I thought I knew what you were going to do this week. So
wow.
Very shocking. It's also kind of funny to think that we are over 200 episodes in, and I would have never guessed that we would have done one of these, but now we've had 2 different stories where a Mexican restaurant takes their stuff getting stolen and turning it into an advertisement for itself.
I know. I actually thought of that, of the story of the guys breaking in and throwing the brick and like totally failing, and they just made fun of the entire robbery, and they're like, they just had to get our salsa or whatever.
That was One Nut Tony's first story.
Iconic.
Wow. More nostalgia.
I'm full of it today. I thought of that. I was like, oh my God, another restaurant. I don't think yours was fast food, but I think it was more of like a sit down, but still, Mexican restaurants, using it to their advantage. I mean, might as well.
Yeah, they have a great sense of humor, apparently.
I know.
your burger is served. And this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. Its sweet profile perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger.
That is one perfect combination. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Spotify.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Well, this week we have a big connection here, and it's definitely a food episode, I'll tell you that. But this story, I think, is from last year as well. It took me a little bit to think about how to do it, but I had a lot of fun with it, and it's going to be a dialogue one, so everybody buckle up for some voices, and here we go. Bar and grill chains are what happens when capitalism runs out of ideas, but keeps trying to feed you. Menus the size of phone books, offering bastardized versions of other cultures' dishes, authenticity replaced with salt and cheese. And of course, a full-size bar slinging overpriced cocktails, just in case you start to question it all. It's comforting, as long as your eyes don't mind being assaulted by decor from every style and era humanly imaginable. At the heart of these overstimulating one-size-fits-all eateries, it's the strange truth that they're all the same. Like theme parties at frat houses, rich, white, and flexing different gimmicks. The American dream dipped in ranch. Or maybe that's just capitalism breeding innovation. And look, I low-key love these places. I was raised in the Midwest. I grew up thinking Applebee's was the fanciest place you could eat. It's nostalgic now, and the nights I want to punish my body for a hit of hot, greasy dopamine, I'll order a sloppy fried chicken and pretend I'm wealthy.
Pinky's out, dear.
No matter your relationship with America's beloved bar and grill genre, chances are you've been inside one. And it wouldn't surprise you to know there's more cooking in those dining rooms than just bomb-ass apps. There's also pettiness, because when the middle class gets to feel like royalty, if only for the duration of a 2 for $20, no amount of happy hour can ease their reign of terror. Start applying for a second job, because in this economy, you can't afford to miss Applebee's all-you-can-eat deal for just $15.99. That's right, just like the possibility of another Great Depression, it's back. Boneless wings, riblets, double-crunch shrimp. And the best part, you don't even have to tip. Just smash that scumbag button and decline. $15.99 all you can eat. Bring the whole family. We'll serve it up to you in tiny, legally safe increments. Install your refills until you give up out of shame. Shanisha tapped skip the second the button appeared, returning her to a meditative YouTube video titled How to Breathe.
Just fill your chest up with some air, and now you're breathing.
She inhaled slowly, as if exhaling could clear out both her financial stress and her wounded self-esteem. Here she was, 4:30 p.m. on a Thursday, still in pajamas, and still in Tuesday's underwear. With a defeated flop, Shanisha grabbed her phone from the coffee table. Her eyes narrowed. Kinsey S. A sinking feeling hit.
Hey guys, I hope you're still able to meet up for our monthly friend dinner tonight. Did we ever pick a place?
The group chat, the dinner, and the chaos of everything else. Shanisha had completely forgotten it was time to socialize again. She started typing out an excuse to cancel, but stopped halfway through, sighed, and erased it. For a second, she considered telling the truth, then quickly decided to overcorrect and protect her pride instead.
Let's do Applebee's. I heard they have a great all-you-can-eat deal. I'll pay.
Freshly cleaned and beaming with pride, Shanisha walked into the restaurant. Fried foods and upbeat music immediately overtook her senses, lulling her body into a trance.
Welcome to Applebee's! Here to try our all-you-can-eat wings, riblets, and shrimp?
You know it, Rib Daddy.
Shanisha said with a flourish, spotting Kinsey at a booth nearby.
Looks like my friend already grabbed a table. Thank you.
Eat good in the neighborhood. She made her way past families, stuffing their faces, then slid into the booth across from Kinsey.
Hey!
Kinsey greeted, sipping a cocktail garnished with a gummy shark. Above the table, Shanisha glanced at the decor. A 5th century Roman shield hung beside a pack of cigarettes autographed by Kermit the Frog.
Looks like Stu's late again,
she noted, conveniently ignoring her own tardiness.
I wonder what strange life update he's bringing this time.
Kinsey raised a finger without saying a word and tilted her head toward the approaching figure. Sorry we're a bit behind, Stu said, arriving with 2 children in tow. I wasn't sure if they needed car seats, and they wouldn't look up from their tablets to tell me. The 2 women blinked. Shanisha, could you scoot in? My children need a seat. Without protest, Shanisha used her arm to levitate her ass just high enough to slide toward the wall. The 2 unnamed juveniles wordlessly climbed into the booth, eyes locked on their glowing screens. Stu sat beside Kinsey, chest puffed to emphasize his world's greatest dad shirt. Are we ready to order that all-you-can-eat special?
You know it, Rib Daddy. I'm covering the bill tonight. We'll do waters all around and one all-you-can-eat special.
Perfect. I'll bring a mix of all 3 to start. You can request refills as you go. He tucked his pen into his generous man cleavage and strutted to the kitchen.
I nominate Stu to go first. Looks like you've got a lot to unpack since last month.
Stu handed out water glasses with a smile. So, I met someone. She makes me feel like I'm the only boy in the room. Her hair smells like churros, and she's not shy with butt stuff. The women stared at the children.
I was kind of hoping you'd start by explaining the shirt, or who these 2 are sitting next to me.
Oh, right. She's a mom. These are her kids. I thought if I showed her I could bond with them, it would demonstrate my value. But don't worry, they don't notice anything unless someone's actively getting hurt. Another hostess arrived and placed the sizzling plates in front of Shanisha.
Do you feed them?
She asked, tossing a double crunch shrimp into her mouth. I don't know yet. I've never tried. Well, I'm in love. Their names are Trevin and Amanda, and I just subscribed to their top-tier Patreon and added a little extra. Not enough people are talking about this podcast. Not Reddit, not TikTok, not even Insta. They deserve the big time. It's a damn tragedy. I listen when I wax my feet. Their take on knockers is culturally important. She slammed the table so hard, the gummy shark did a backflip. The conversation continued. Refills came and went. Between the riblets, the buffalo sauce, and Kinsey's unsolicited podcast sermon, dinner rolled on longer than Shanisha expected. She laughed. She listened. She dipped. And for a little while, she forgot she'd been fired, until the waiter returned with a kind smile and the check. Shanisha couldn't believe her eyes. There, on the slip of paper, 5 free waters and 2 all-you-can-eat specials. Time froze. She stared into the abyss of a total over $30.
Excuse me,
she called out, catching the nearby waiter.
I only ordered 1 all-you-can-eat special. I should only be paying $15.99.
The waiter turned back with the calm authority of someone who'd been through this before. I totally understand the confusion, miss, but you shared your wings and shrimp with your friends across the table. It's our policy to charge the special per person when it's shared.
That's not the deal. That's unfair,
she screamed, sending the waiter away. Sounds like you're having a dreadful dilemma, Kinsey joked, trying to lighten the mood.
Shut the fuck up, Kinsey. This isn't a silly little mix-up. This is about principle and my dignity.
The juveniles tapped away on their screens, unfazed as the waiter returned. I called corporate. They reminded me that I am corporate. I'm the manager, and I'm exercising my managerial authority. Either pay for 2 all-you-can-eats, or I'm calling the police.
Well, start dialing, because now I'm not paying for either of them.
The waiter backed away, phone to ear, as Shanisha turned to her friends, pleading her case.
This is bullshit! It says everywhere, all you can eat!
A voice rang out from another table.
Well, why don't you shut the hell up and pay for your meal? It's my wife's birthday dinner, and if I let her speak for herself, I'm sure she'd say you're ruining it.
Shanisha motioned to the juveniles beside her.
All right, time to move, kids. I'm about to beat this old man's ass.
Send your officers quickly! She's hopped up on riblets and violence!
Short time later, police arrived on the scene, now relocated to the Applebee's parking lot.
Officer Piggins, what's going on here? Thank goodness you're here. I'm the manager. This guest ordered the all-you-can-eat special and assumed it covered the whole table. I've managed to get them outside, but they're refusing to pay.
Officer Piggins' eyes locked on Shanisha, now pacing beside a Honda Civic.
Now you're fucked, Applebee's. My backup is here.
Evening, ma'am.
Shanisha furiously waved a laminated menu like a legal document.
This is false advertising, officer. I ordered an all-you-can-eat, and this Crapplebee's wants to charge me for 2.
The officer extended his hand calmly.
I'm not tolerating any more outbursts. Please, may I see the menu?
As she handed it over, Shanisha smirked.
You're in trouble now, Crapplebee's.
Ah, here it is. Per person.
The word stared back at her from just above his dirty fingernail. A silent wave of shame gripped her lungs. Her head slowly shook. A low growl built in her throat. Kinsey swooped in, wrapping one arm around her while covering her mouth with the other.
It's okay, Shanisha. We'll just pay for 2 and be on our way,
she whispered in panic.
Thank you. I really didn't want to arrest your friend for being disruptive.
With her dignity more bruised than her appetite, Shanisha sulked toward the front door, just as a customer was exiting.
Oh, did we finally figure out it was per person? This is the one time a year I gave my wife attention, and now you get to go on knowing you stole that from her.
Shanisha's mouth began to foam. Rage boiled in her gut. She let out a primal scream, cut short by Officer Piggins grabbing her mid-lunge and dragging her toward the cruiser. Kinsey stood in shock, retracing the steps that brought her here. She watched the squad car pull away with Shanisha inside, then looked to Stu, illuminated by the soft glow of 2 tablet screens, still glued to the faces of his unnamed juveniles.
Maybe if she swung on somebody, they would have looked up,
Stu said with a chuckle. Kinsey let out a quiet laugh, unzipped her handmade Live Laugh Larceny fanny pack, and pulled out her debit card. 2 all-you-can-eat specials weren't going to pay for themselves. On August 2nd, 2023, 28-year-old Shanisha Cobbs was arrested at an Applebee's in Portage, Indiana, following a dispute over the restaurant's $15.99 all-you-can-eat special. According to police, Cobbs was dining with a group that included another adult, several juveniles, and a man when an argument broke out with the Applebee's manager. The group believed one all-you-could-eat order could be shared among the table, but the restaurant insisted the deal was priced per person. Officers arrived around 8:38 p.m. to find the group yelling and causing a disturbance. When Cobbs was shown the menu clearly stating per person, tensions escalated. As another couple exited the restaurant who had previously exchanged words with the group, Cobbs became increasingly loud and confrontational. Officers warned Cobbs several times to quiet down. At one point, her friend even covered her mouth, but nothing worked. She was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct and taken to the Porter County Jail. Her friend later returned inside and paid the full tab, quote, after realizing the menu stated the special was per person, according to the arrest record. No final punishments were made public. There's something about this story that makes me weirdly hungry. Maybe it's the way my mouth waters for the talk of Greece, or maybe it's the memories. Dim booths, laminated menus, a waiter who once told me I had a fancy name. Bar and grills are strange little ecosystems. Sometimes you're an older couple, sharing silent eye contact over one meal out a year. Sometimes you're a kid like I was, wondering if formal wear was required for your chicken finger basket. And sometimes you're a grown adult, confidently relying on a misunderstanding. Whatever your relationship is to the American bar and grill, I hope you find yourself back in one soon. Order something greasy, sip something way too sweet, and pretend we're all doing fine. It's nostalgic. Like living in a recession.
But seriously, wow. The gall? I'm sorry, Shanisha, but you can't order one all-you-can-eat thing and feed an entire table.
Yeah, not in this economy.
Like, that's just not how it ever has worked. Like, not in any economy. Like, what?
Yeah, that's giving away so much food. It would be so crazy. Like, oh, I got a table of 8. Let's go get ourselves an all-you-can-eat for $15.99.
If that was the case, yeah, people would be packing in the booths to their capacity and getting a deal. That's just not how it works.
No.
But that was nostalgic. I used to go to Applebee's in college for wing night.
I love Applebee's. We obviously love 54th Street.
Yeah.
Luckily, you're moving away from one into another one, so you're not too far.
That's true.
I mean, I really did think as a kid, like bar and grills were top-notch dining.
Same. Applebee's was a special treat for me growing up. It took like 30 minutes even just to get to one. And then when we did, it was like, I'm in a booth. Like, we did not go out very often.
Oh, I feel like there are so many people listening to this that probably cannot relate at all, but
I know. Even my own children cannot probably relate as much. You know what I mean?
like my parents would just be like, we're not rich. We're not going to go to Applebee's every time I'd be like, I feel like Applebee's like, whoa, Buster.
Yeah.
You will get that dollar menu and that's nice too.
I know.
It was very nostalgic. I love that it was taking place in an Applebee's. I love that you and I both share this Applebee's connection.
Yeah.
My small connection was I didn't even mean to do that with the bee thing in my fact at Applebee's. I don't know.
Okay, I get it now. I get it.
I loved your take on Shanisha. That was great.
Oh my God, Crapplebee's. Too much, as usual.
Yeah, you did a really good job transforming those lines for me. Because in my head, that wasn't quite how I heard it, but the way you did it was just so much funnier.
I'm glad. It's not often that you crack up laughing during the recording, so there you go. That's why I crack up over pretty much anything. But when you read my lines, it is funny as hell because you're saying it and it's bringing it to life and it's absurd as hell.
Yes. Pete Holmes has a stand-up thing about when he did acting for the first time. He talked about how you don't realize just how much of an art it is and how much you really have to think through what you do.
Yeah.
He talks about Silence of the Lambs. And they do, I ate his liver with some Chianti and some fava beans.
Yeah.
That was his decision as an actor to do all of that.
Yeah.
When you write this stuff out, it's just like kind of words and you think you know what it's going to be. But then, it's so fun hearing it come out of somebody else's mouth. But a whole misunderstanding like that, not just accepting it. And I had to dig a little bit. The first article didn't have a name. The second article did have a name. It also had added, there was some juveniles at the table. And I'm like, what am I going to do with these juveniles?
That was so funny. When you were saying that, I was like, the articles had to have said like a couple unnamed juveniles because you just made them like these little iPad blob heads.
I wanted it to just be like a friend dinner and they were just going to give life updates. But then there was these kids and then that made this whole other bit. So
I loved it. He was just trying to be the number one dad for his girlfriend's children.
Who he's never fed before.
Wild.
I looked up what the punishment would be. A misdemeanor of whatever I said, disruptive or whatever.
Yeah.
Could be up to 120 days in jail and up to $1,000 fine.
Dang.
But we don't know what she ended up getting altogether.
Yeah, I have a feeling maybe they didn't keep her super long. Let's hope. I mean, still, I'm not on her side, but come on. There's more important things to keep people locked up for, right?
Especially if she's a first offender, I imagine.
Yeah. But the connections are through the roof.
My God. I mean, we both must have been feeling it. It's just like, we haven't done a food thing in a while.
Yeah, we were both getting hungry, clearly. I hope that everyone maybe already ate, or maybe you're eating while listening because both stories?
I know.
Both?
And Amanda and I usually record on Sunday afternoons, but we're recording after work on a Wednesday right now, so it's like dinner time.
Yeah, this is just torture for us. But I think the sauce connection, the food connection, the
restaurant connection,
the corny restaurant taglines, the levitating asses in both. I mean, just funny little weird connections. Loved it.
Yeah, we took you all to the restaurant today.
Also, we need to give a proper shout out to Kinsey S.
Yes.
For being a character in your story because she is a Patreon member. So thank you so much, Kinsey.
Yes, thank you for joining, Kinsey. So happy to have you here. Glad that you want more of us. And we hope to be giving you guys more here soon.
Yeah.
We've been through this a little bit of a transition month, but we're definitely going to get you guys back with more stuff.
Yes. A new movie night is coming soon, if it hasn't already by the time this came out. But thank you so much for being a member on Patreon. I loved that Trevin gave your character his voice, first of all. And I also loved how you kept throwing in these little like, oh, dreadful dilemma, like all these little jokes, like how special.
References that only listeners of this show would get.
Yes. I loved it. So thank you so much. And to everyone else listening, I just hope that you're having the best week. And just remember, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed to cover ourselves in our favorite sauce.
Bye.
See ya.
If you want even more sauciness, head on over to Patreon. Be like Kinsey S. and become a member. Ad-free episodes, movie nights, and more.
And do salads make you wet? Find us on social media and let us know. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or Threads. Live, Laugh, Larceny.
And have you ever stolen hot sauce before? If so, send us your petty crime story to livelaughlarceny@gmail.com.
And give our show the same rating Rick and Morty fans would give Szechuan sauce. 5 stars. Rate our show wherever you rate podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods.
You're in trouble now, Crapplebees.
You're doing a good job. That's why it's so funny.